Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the papers. Punch?
Yes, so following the confirmation of an Ebola virus disease outbreak in Uganda, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention has intensified surveillance at the country's points of entry, that's including airports. The agency also advised Nigerians to please avoid non-essential travel to affected countries. The NCDC director says that currently no reported cases of Ebola in Nigeria. And however, NCDC, in collaboration with relevant ministries, departments, agencies, and partners through the National Emerging Viral Hemorrhagic Diseases Technical Working Group, continues these efforts, which include updates of our EVD emergency contingency plan, heightened surveillance, especially at the points of entry, and optimizing diagnostic capacity for EVD testing in designated laboratories. So he's saying, in addition, all Lassa fever testing laboratories can be activated to scale up testing if the need arises. We know this is, nearly 10 years ago, almost at this time, if we remember Dr. Adajevo, who made the ultimate sacrifice for us when we had someone. So nearly 10 years to the date, we're having this story again. Now, what they're saying is that in Uganda, they have recorded one case, one fatality, and they are investigating the 44 people that that have been in contact with the original person. But for now, in Nigeria, there's nothing, but yet we should be careful.
Yeah.
Don't go to places, to some countries at this time if you don't need to.
Okay, so they're trying to level all of us off. Band A, bandits, band Z, whatever band you belong. According to the senior special, whatever opposition is, or I think he's the special advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on energy, Olu Vehejin. He was speaking at the Mission 300 Energy Summit in Dar es Salaam and being quoted by Bloomberg to say that, apart from, said that, all other bans, Nigeria would soon experience an increment in tariff across the country. He says Nigeria's power industry needs significant investment to achieve its development aims, and of the 14 gigawatts of installed power, only 8 can be transmitted across the country, and only 4 to 5 gigawatts can be directly delivered to homes and businesses. And a senior and undisclosed senior official of NEC told the correspondent of Bloomberg that all electricity customers, except for those of Band A, would soon should be prepared for a cost-reflective tariff. Olu, I don't know if it's a she or he, says that a cost-reflective as well as a cost-efficient tariff will soon be done across the country, and this has elicited a lot of reactions across board.
Okay, final story on Punch. So the former governor of Osun State, Bisi Akande, Chief Bisi Akande, had raised fresh concerns about the unresolved assassination of the former Attorney General of the Federation, Minister of Justice, Chief Bola Ige. He was speaking during an interview with the ACE broadcaster Edmund Obilo in Ibadan, where he released a statement saying that Akande lamented that key figures who might have shed more light on the death of Bola Ige have died, including the former state governor Lam Adesina. According to her, there are many things that die with people. I know Lam Adesina went to court over the matter, and I also know that Ladoja withdrew the case. Ask Ladoja, he would know and be able to shed more light on Bola Ige's death. Quite a few things also said at that interview. It's a really interesting interview to actually listen to. Moving on now to Daily Sun. Quickly, price war looms in fuel market. Court order lifting Mareva is declarative. Can't be stayed, says GHL. Bloody Sunday as 30 die in Ondo crash. Police warns defaulters as enforcement of third-party insurance policy begins. Excuse me. Deportee undergoes surgery in NDLEA custody to expel 81 wraps of cocaine in the stomach. Nigeria on red alert as Uganda confirms Ebola outbreak. And pressure mounts on Tinubu to reinstate impeached Lagos House Speaker of Assembly, Obasa, former Speaker of Assembly. Okay, which story?
Okay, so let me just quickly drop the drama with Obasa. So according to the Sun, they have wind that the president would be meeting with the lawmakers of the Lagos State House of Assembly and the impeached Speaker and other major stakeholders this week. because the president, according to them, is keen on ensuring that this situation does not escalate. Basic.
Oh, that was not drama. Anyway, NDLEA has arrested a 59-year-old businessman, Chijioke Igbokwe, who has undergone surgery, exploratory laparotomy, to let out 57 out of 81 pellets of cocaine stuck in his stomach after 7 days of ingesting the illicit substance in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So they say the story is that he had, first of all, he's into the cloth business at Arena Oshodi, Lagos, and he departed Lagos January 22nd, where he ingested 81 wraps to Addis Ababa, where he ingested 81 wraps of cocaine, and then boarded a flight to Beirut, and then Lebanon, and then that was where he was meant to deliver the illicit consignment for the fee of $3,000. But he was refused entry because he had less than $2,000, which is the amount, amount that you need to be able to go into the country. So he was deported to Addis Ababa, and of course, he was, and then the illicit drugs, also were found on him. They brought him back to his home country, and where he could not expel some of it, what was left, they had to take it out through surgery. You know what is funny? I'm just thinking of his flight back, knowing that everybody now knows that you have ingested drugs, and then you're brought back to Nigeria, and they had to even get his family to consent that they wanted this surgery to be done. Meanwhile, all this time, everybody knows that you're a drug dealer, a mule. It's really sad. We're grateful to NDLEA for doing the good work that they're doing, and we just hope that people would learn, to just put this aside. But it's a global issue. Must pay them a lot.
Right. The Nigerian police will commence the enforcement of the mandatory third-party insurance today, according to the first PRO, that's Olumuyiwa Adejobi. The enforcement is in line with the directive from the Inspector General of Police. He said that this initiative aims to reinforce road safety measures and ensure that all vehicle owners comply with the stipulated insurance requirement to protect themselves and others on the road. The Nigerian Police Force cautions vehicle owners and operators against non-compliance with this new regulation.
Okay.
Moving on to Vanguard, our final paper for this morning. Let's find a story not taken. Telecoms tariff hike. FG meets NLC leaders over tomorrow's protest. Nigeria, Africa under pressure as Trump slams tariff on Canada, Mexico, and China. And I think that's the story of Ayuba's Bello, how OP scholarship sustain the family's livelihood. Okay,
let me take NLC. So they said to avert tomorrow's nationwide protest by the Nigerian Labour Congress, as the NLC, and its civil society allies against the 50% hike in telecommunications tariff. The federal government had summoned Labour leaders to a meeting today. So according to the Vanguard, it said that the meeting is also to discuss NLC's opposition to the 8 billion government budgetary allocation for electricity bill sensitization, which the Labour movement described as wastefulness and corruption. So it said a source from the office of the Secretary of the Government of the Federation, that's the SGF, told that the meeting would be hosted, but they had to schedule the meeting at 5 p.m. because they had a fake meeting that will be happening first in the morning. Then afterwards, they will now meet with NLC. And they also said that NLC was already galvanizing workers for a mass protest, which is tomorrow, February 4th, against the 50% hike in tariff. And the meeting, also discussed the fact that the government had already planned to use 8 billion to sensitize people to know how to use their power supply. And was for them was just money being wasted. So they are going to be discussing all of this in that meeting. I said there's no way they are going to accept the 50% telecommunications tariff hike. And they've told all their workers to be ready for like a one-day protest tomorrow. They need to make that noise so that the federal government will know that they've taken the matter serious and see how they can resolve it before it extends to full-blown strike.
Let me take Trump. So Trump, the Nigeria and Africa, according to this report, are facing reality of imminent shocks. It hasn't come to us yet. This is just preemptive, according to this report. Saying that since Donald Trump has made good his threats to toughen tariffs to various economies around the world. So he has increased the imports from Canada, from Mexico to 25%, Canada also 25%, and China 10%. Canada has already announced a retaliatory rate regime, while Mexico also said it was planning its own to issue tariffs on the U.S. as well. China said that they're going to take them to WTO, that's the World Trade Organization, claiming that they seriously violate the WTO rules. The U.S. tariff order notes that should any of these nations retaliate against the United States with import duties or similar measures, the President Trump may increase or expand in scope the duties imposed under the order to ensure the efficacy of his action. According to the White House, the salvo is aimed at curbing the inflow of immigrants into the country and to stop illicit drugs into the U.S., spurring a resurgence in domestic manufacturing and raising federal revenue. That's all I can take on this Trump matter. But it hasn't reached us. They have not said anything about Africa yet, so we should calm down. Any other story in Vanguard? Okay, I think that's all we can take. Anybody Tribune? Let's find a story quickly. We have time for Tribune. Middle-aged man killed in Ibadan. Police launch manhunt for killers. Lagos speakership, Tinubu not restating Obasanjo's source. And Northern Leaders Coalition proponents write off PDP. That's according to 2027 plans. Any story, Tribune? Nobody? Okay. That's all we can take on Front Page Review this morning. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, more to our hot topic of today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.